Good evening. Happy Saturday. I hope you are all having a wonderful weekend. We've had some nice weather today and it's cooled off a lot for later this afternoon. It's been kind of breezy, but it's been a wonderful day. I got my backyard weeded, which it's sorely needed, very bad, and then I was able to come downstairs and do a little playing here and figure out what I'm going to be doing for Tuesday's live. I always like to try to work ahead if possible, then I don't feel so rushed. So my only problem with that being sometimes I forget what I'm making and all the details. So we do what we can, right? So I am actually going to turn the camera down right away because I have a lot of cards that I want to make with you tonight, showing the different techniques you can use on the embossing folder. So hi Nancy, welcome. So I think I'm going to do that, and as people pop on, I'll try to look up and look at my iPad and see that you're popping on, and I will acknowledge you. So here we go. I got stuff moving where I don't want it to move. Let's see if I can, there. Alright, now I gotta figure out my iPad here. It's not wanting to be in the right position. There. Well, kinda, there we go. Alright. So I think we're gonna I'm gonna try to make 7 cards, I think, tonight. I think that's what I counted. And we are using the embossing folder, Traditional Wreath. It's part of a suite that's called Traditions of Christmas. And I'm going to be featuring that suite in my next live coming up on Tuesday. So we'll get the rest of the stuff to go with this. And so I decided what I'm going to do is, because there's so many different techniques you can use, I just took a piece here and ran it through the embossing folder and divided it into 4s so that we aren't spending a lot of time trying to do the whole thing. So everything I've already done. All of the embossed images are 4 by 5 1/4. Whether it's this direction or that, it doesn't matter. But so these are the 4 that I'm going to show you here, and then I also went ahead and embossed on the 2-sided paper, and I thought we would try using the sanding block on part of it. And then I wanted to see what going over this with the craft white ink would do. When I've tried to take like the spots and go on a white image, I didn't like the look of it. It was just really splotchy, and it didn't do it for me. So I switched to doing the other things. Just a note for you guys. So we're going to just try part of this here. And it does sand off nicely, and then you have the white core inside. Whether you want to do something with the white so it isn't quite so stark, that is totally up to you. I actually took garden green and lightly went over it. So I will show you that quickly. I don't know how much garden green I got. Oh, there's enough on there. Just to kind of soften it a little bit. Bring this up so that you can get a close look at it, because I just am not able to get my camera down much lower than this. So let's try a little of the white just on this bottom section. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up another sheet here. Hi Hi, Pam. Nice to see you. Welcome. We're getting right into this. Okay, so the white is going to, you're going to have to be really careful because I guess I leaned down on it here on this section. If you just wanted to brighten up just the embossed image, you're going to have to be kind of careful with it. I don't know I suppose if you got one of the spots that you could put ink on so it doesn't have any ink on it. And of course, as this dries, then this gets actually a little more opaque, which is kind of nice. You might wish to flip the paper over and have this section be on this side, so it's the embossed side rather than debossed side. If you wanted to try that, I think it would show up a little bit better on this, and it's not going to not bleach out, but soak in. Guess that's the word. All right, so the next one I wanted to do with you, let me get this white put away so we don't have that sitting out open, is the watercoloring. And I don't know if you have tried this before. I hadn't, and so I was pleasantly surprised how this turned out. Hi, Shar. Hi, Ramona. Yes, welcome very much. If you decide you like what I'm showing you, please sign up so that you're okay, words are hard. Yes, goodness. So that you can find out when I'm doing live next time. Subscribe. No, that's not it. So if you take, this is an empty Winkostella, and I decided to hang on to them. I'm glad I did, because I had 4 of them, and I'm glad I didn't get rid of them. And I took my wire cutter and was able to get this end out so that I could add some water to this. And I've got one over here that I've already added the water to. I was amazed at how much there was still in the pen. And it makes a lovely finish when you're watercoloring. So if you can see, I don't know if you can see that real well. I put a drop of water on here to begin with, and it's got a lot of the glitters in it already. And I have a little drop of the, we're using Pool Party on this one. And I'm just going to drag it over and get a nice, you can see it now maybe, how sparkly it is. And I just went ahead and just colored these in. This is just regular white cardstock. I did not do anything special. And I'm amazed at how quickly this will dry, but so, and I love the glittery finish that it has. And then if you wanted to go back over it to get a little more definition, oops, that wasn't so good. I just go in where it's a little bit darker and then just hit the spots that are high or that you would like to have more of it accented. So you got, it's tone on tone, but I think it's still awesome. And this does not take that long to do if you can use your refills, and it goes quickly. To try, I did try one where I used one of my acrylic blocks and went into the ink pad, and it took me forever to go around and get the full card done, or the 4 by 5 1/4 done. Sorry, I can't talk and paint at the same time here tonight. I don't know what's the matter with me. I've been sitting here waiting to go live with you guys. So this gives you an idea of what you can do with watercoloring. And I think it's so pretty. Wait, when you see what the whole sheet looks like done, can you see the sparkles on there? How awesome that is. I love it. Okay. Next one was using blends. And you can use whatever color you want to. I'm just going to wipe this off so it's not floating around on my desk. There. You can use whatever color you want to. For this, I did, let's see, Granny Apple and Old Olive and a little bit of Lemon Lime Twist. So I started with the light Old Olive, wanting to do all of the images that came to a point. So there's some of them that come to a point and some of them that are rounded on the end. And I found that it was easiest to go around and get all of the ones that went to a point first. I tried one sheet doing it where they were all rounded to begin with, and I mixed up and got a few of them that weren't supposed to be, and so I wasn't too happy with myself. I'm just kind of coloring them in just slightly here, not being really super duper careful to get it all completely in, because I'm going to go over them again. And this is I think the rest of them are all rounded. This one is not, I don't think. Okay, so this does not show any definition with what the highs and the lows are on this, which I like. So I'm just going to go in here and just kind of hit some of the highs. I like it darkened at the base. And then I'm going to go in there and try to, whoop, a couple more here. And we're just going to try to get this to shade together a little bit. The difference between the light and the dark on this Old Olive is quite, there's just a big difference. Some of them you can hardly tell that there is a difference at all. Okay. I've seen some pictures of people taking the round images on here and putting a color in other than greens. But I just decided to use green this time for both of them. Then I thought that maybe this was still a little bit on the darkish side. So I went over it again using the light Lemon Lime Twist, just to give it a little more yellow tone. Okay, so the Rolodex moves slowly. Ramon, if you you're going to follow me. That's what you need to do. Golly. if you want to hear when the next time I do videos. And I do videos on Tuesday nights and Saturday nights. Tuesday nights I do it at 6 o'clock Central Time. And on Saturday nights we do 6:30, as you found out. So then I'm just going to do the round ones. I'm not going to do the little dots that are on here. We'll leave that for when we want to add some embellishments. We'll just add a few, or if you want to go ahead and color that in, go for it. For tonight, I am not on any of them. See, I missed one. Some of them are a little hard to see. That the point on this leaf is dented into the round petal or leaf behind it. So I missed it. This is such a pretty embossing folder. You know, the other one that we were playing around with, the one that has the holly leaves on it, that one's beautiful too. They've just really, I think, have stepped up their game with doing embossing folders. Very, very nice. Okay, back to going on my little roundabout thing here. I had to look at my pen because it seemed dark, and I thought, uh-oh, don't tell me I'm using the dark one. Oop. And I forgot this one that's hiding behind here. Okay, now let's do the dark ones. Oh, I'm telling you, yesterday I told my husband, I says, I ordered 70 tulip bulbs. I have no idea where I'm going to put them. But my son gave me a gift certificate to a beautiful place out in the state of Washington, and that's where he lives, and for Mother's Day. So I filled my order yesterday, and I told my husband, I have no idea where all these bulbs are going to go, but it's going to look pretty wherever they end up going. I can't wait. It's been so long since I've had any tulip bulbs. Each year my tulips are getting less and less, and then I read about them. They told me that you should be lifting them every year, and I'm like, oh, for Pete's sakes, I don't have a place to store them, so I don't know how I can lift them. I think they're going to end up staying in the ground and fending for themselves. So there is the effect with using blends. And like I say, I've seen people use the blends to for the round figures to put a color other than green in. I just decided to use green for this example. All right, colored pencils. We're going to use green again for that. I guess I can put that away. I'm going to start with the garden green. Get my pencils all nice and sharpened before we went live. And then I'm going to use the, what is it called? I can never remember. Blender pen. I get too confusing. Too many blenders. And again, just kind of scribbling it on. Let's see. This is one. Because it's going to all get smoothed out here. Well, I'm glad you're learning, Ramona. I hope you get some good ideas here. I do like to do things a little different sometimes. I like to see how far I can make something go as far as trying different things that maybe some people wouldn't think of doing. At least that's my aim. Okay, I think that's it for that one. So now I'm just going to take the blender pen and just go over it, and it just takes care of getting rid of all those lines. If you've never used one, they're pretty slick. They've had them in the offering for many years. When I was, oh gee, I think probably, got to stop and think, 10, probably about 15 years ago, when I was just starting learning how to make cards, this was one of the things that you could use, was this blender pen. And I thought it was so cool how it just smooths everything out, gets rid of the lines, like so. And then you just kind of wipe it off, and you're good to go for the next color. So I'm going to go back in with some olive here and get my and this actually, I think, blends so much better than a blending pen for this, the alcohol ink blending pens. Gives it a little bit smoother texture. Let's see, did I catch all the high points there? Alright, now I'm just going to go over it again. And it just smooths it right out. It just gives that little bit of shading. Okay. Now the other shade I'm using is Granny Apple Green. And I'll go back in to do the shading with the Garden Green. Ah, there's another one of those that the tip is in the... There we go. Okay. Back at the Granny Apple. I figured this was so much better than you sitting there trying to watch me do numerous pages, and this way you get to see more ways of using the embossing folder. So now, Ramona, if you wanted to look back, I did a video on Tuesday night where we used the same embossing folder, but we used the deboss side, this side, for making cards and coloring. And that one should be, you should be able to access that one if you look further down on my page. Okay. That's looking pretty good. Okay, back to back to garden green. I like what the garden green does to Granny Apple. It just makes it real limey in color. I'm just putting little stroke marks there at the bottom. Alright. Just going to blend that in, just like so. So you're going to have to tell me which one you like the best. Okay, this is the one that I missed. All right. All right, the last one we're going to do is Spotlight. And I've got a small, this is 1 3/4 circle here. We're going to put that in here. And we're just going to punch that out. And we're going to color just this spotlight. And I'm going to do this one in that green, the soft seafoam. It's a small enough area that it won't drive you crazy waiting for me to finish that little bit. So this always wants to come off. And this one is hard to shade with because you're only getting so much of the ink off. I gotta tell you, I like this one an awful lot. Just dabbing that off since there's so much glitter on the acrylic block that I wanted to make sure that I didn't get that on my pad, so that's why I blotted it on the paper here. And I know there's plenty of other ideas that you can use this embossing folder with. You could use it just white, which you're going to see me do. You can put it through some of the like the gold or the silver foil paper. Oh, that's really stunning. Okay. And then when you assemble your card, you're going to line it up with how it is in here. Let's see. So it would go like so. The card would be lifted up just slightly and just the color underneath. And we are going to make one card that way. Okay. I think I've shown you the different steps of the cards that we're going to make tonight. So let's get at them. Let's see. All right. The first one. Where did I put my sheet that I was looking? Okay, here we go. So the first one we did was watercolor. Oh, first one we did was this one. That's right. So I am just going to add this. onto a piece of white, which is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Get this out of the way for right now. We're going to glue this on. So there should be just 1/8 of an inch around the edge, just enough to make it pop, just a little bit. Oops, that's for our inside. Get some of this stuff out of the way. This is Real Red, and it is a piece that is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So this is going to be 1/8 of an inch larger. Like so. I don't know why I don't have the rest of it. Well, I guess we're going to do this. The embossing folders that I used, the die cuts I used, there's a double die that goes in the set Jolly Holly. And we're using Jolly Holly for all of the sentiments tonight. And I've used this double set on most of them. I thought it looked so cool with that red. Just makes it pop. Easy, easy card to make. So we are going to stamp Merry Christmas on the front. And that's from that same stamp set. We will use Real Red. I didn't have that one out. Yeah, maybe we'll use the Garden Green since we got that on the background. Let's use Garden Green. I think that's why I didn't have it sitting up here, because I've got it in my stack on my desk. All right. We got Merry Christmas. And let's see. Don't think there's enough room for that. Okay. I guess that's just going to be Merry Christmas on the front. On the inside, let's go the right direction, Jean. Put that this way. On the inside, we're going to do May the spirit of the season bring you hope, happiness, and love. And that's going to go on here. Actually, this card could go either direction. Let's see, which way do we want it to go? Do we want it this way? Or do we want it the long way? I shouldn't have been so quick at gluing that on. I could have put some red ribbon on there. Let's see if I can find my red ribbon quickly. I don't know. That's awfully pretty. Well, which way should I go? Portrait or landscape? What do you guys think? I'm going to glue these two together while I'm waiting for an answer from you guys. I'm tending to think it should go portrait. Only from the standpoint that the inside sentiment is long. I mean, it'll work. It's just I'd have to put it up towards the top. Or I could go with wishing you and yours all the best. Maybe that would be better. Then we can go landscape. Thank you, Nancy. I agree. Kind of like the looks of it that way. Well, this is going to go on here. And let's do wishing you and yours all the best. Oop, not quite even. There we go. All right. I'm going to put this inside, and then we're going to see what we can do about adding some of that red ribbon, because that's part of the suite as well. Needs a little something, doesn't it? I think we're going to add a little holly in each corner. Sorry for my head. Now, what would happen if I take and try to move that around a little bit? Oh, it does move around just a slight bit. Just trying to get just a little green. Kind of blurs the lines a little bit, but and I think I'm going to just take a, I dearly wish they'd have garden green in a blend, but they don't. Let's see, real red, I think that's this one. It is. I'm going to do the light real red for the berries. Okay, now let's see what we can do about this. Well, there's enough room there. There's enough room there. Alrighty. Let's get this cut decent. This is taking too long. I wanted to do this quickly. Okay. I think it would be best to use my Stamp and Seal. This is just the regular Stamp and Seal. Get a little more on there than that. There we go. All right. A little too far with that glue. All right, I think I'm going to have to take a little bit off this end. There. Ooh, this end's going to be a challenge. Let's see. Get my take your pick tool and see what we can do here. Yeah, it's still too long. That's better. Oh, goodness sakes. Hey, when there's a will, there's a way, right? Get under there, you little stinker. Alrighty. Hot diggity. I'm going to have to take my... Oh, maybe I won't. There. That came off. Alright. Where'd my... Alright. Oh, I like the looks of this card. This would be easy to make if you didn't goof up like I did. Okay. I like that. Very nice. Hope you guys like it. All right. Next, we did the blends. All right. Let me get a couple things out of the way here so we don't end up with just a mess here. Oh, where's my little pen? There it is. Maybe we'll keep this out here because we might want to use that. You know, I didn't put any embellishments on there. And I've got them sitting right here. So the embellishments that go with this suite are the traditional sparkle sequins. So they're really flat, which is cool. Look at this little guy. We're going to take him and see if we can use him. Because I want to use red. Let's see. We'll put you in there. And we'll grab one more. Right down here. There, just a little bit of sparkle. I know it's not 3, but it's balanced. Okay, card 1 done. Card number 2. Is watercolor. Okay. And this one I did in the green, as you can see. And I had a little, whoops, there, but it's going to get covered up with our sentiment. Okay, so this is, oh man, colors, Jean, colors. Pretty Peacock. 8.5, 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And we're just going to put this right on here like so. And I do like the looks of this, all glittered up. And I like the contrast of the colors between the Pretty Peacock and the soft seafoam. And you can bet I've got soft seafoam on my next order going in for the refill. All right, we're going to do Merry Christmas in... I wonder if we should... Soft seafoam is a little dark. Maybe we just go with the Pretty Peacock. I think that will look pretty. Hi, Carol. Thanks for joining us. Glad you are here. All right. Merry Christmas. And I think I'm just going to cover that for a minute. And I'll put that on here using Tombow Mono Glue. This one I think we'll go this direction with. And put one in the center too. We don't have a ribbon going through there on this one. I like this set because it just makes card making so easy, and yet it looks so stunning. Alright, this one we will use the longer sentiment. And I am going to take and move some of this ink because it was blotchy when I did the front. And it's just a little heavy, so I'm just going to move the ink down to the other end. So hopefully it'll give a better image. Always keep some plastic spoons handy for situations like this. And I'm going to try stamping this on my scrap paper just to see how that's going to look. Much better. Much, much better. Okay, going, yep. Make sure I'm heading the right direction here. All right. Now let's add, I think we're going to add this guy. Yeah, put it right up on top. Alright, and I'm going to take soft sea foam and color that in. I'll use the light one and see how that looks. If that's, yeah, I think the dark one's better. Okay. Oh, it's a challenge to get them straight, isn't it? Okay, so that is our watercolor. I think that is really super pretty. Like that one. 2 down. Blends is our next one. And this one we're using some gold with it. And I'm also adding an extra layer to the front because it just didn't look, I didn't like the look of it just like so. It just needed something a little more to it. So, and this one I did 4 1/4 by 11 and scored it at 5 1/2. So we can go this way or we can go this way. Which way do you think we should do this one? Landscape or portrait? Let me know. And this sheet is 1/8 of an inch smaller. So this is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So we're going to go, you want portrait on this one? Okay, let's do portrait. So it's going to open this direction. Very good. So this one, let's see, do I have anything different, or was I just going to do Merry Christmas on them all? I kind of think I was just going to do Merry Christmas on them all. Okay, so this one we'll do in, I guess, Old Olive. That'll look pretty with the gold. And since that's our base, I want to see if how that's going to look. Oh, that one's perfect. Freaked out after that last one was kind of bubbly. Okay. Now this one I am going to put on using the seal. Just is a little bit better on the foil paper. And sometimes when you use foil paper and you put cards, glue it to cardstock or vice versa, you're going to see a ridge where the cardstock was. I think it just doesn't, the glue doesn't soak in. So, I mean, I can add it, because I've got this cardstock on here, I can add it on the front of the card this direction, or we can use and I think I'm going to, since there's, it's rough, it's not flat, because it's embossed. I'm just going to kind of stay within where that front tag is on there. This is pretty. I like that gold added to it. Okay. Then our sentiment on the inside. I do like the sentiment. In the spirit of the season. Bring hope, happiness, and love. I agree. Okay. Let's add another one of those little sprigs over the top of it. Oop, one end didn't have much. And then I will color it in with the light Old Olive blend. And when the blend dries, it will get lighter. Always goes on a little bit darker. All right, close this one up. Number 3 is done, but we're gonna. Oh, and I didn't put anything on that last one either for an embellishment. Gee whiz. What's the matter with me? I always end up having to go back and do that afterwards because I forget every time. Okay, so let's see if what we have on here that's going to go well. Oh, the green looks pretty good. Let's do the green on this one. And I think we're just going to do the same thing. We could have put gold on here too. But that's pretty. Alright, let's take this one back. I don't think there's going to be... I don't think this is going to go. No, I don't like that. We need to have something silver, I think, on there. What do you think? Well, let me see what I've got. Let me pull out my box of embellishments here and see what we've got. Let's see. Oh, this is a tough one. Those are not. Oh, I think we're going to put these on. The medium ones. There. Okay. Colored pencils next. We're doing this one in real red for the base. Again, 8.5, 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And our embossed piece is 4 by 5 1/4. This is for our inside. Our insides are all, I usually cut them at 3 by 4 1/4. I'm sorry I didn't mention that before. So, do we want to put a red ribbon on there? Thought of it before. Yeah, I think that adds a lot. And let me get my ribbon scissors out. Put this back. Okay. And get our seal. Well, there we go. Didn't want to give me any glue. There. Okay. I guess I already decided on this one's going to go like so. I think I should have glued the back of the paper instead of the ribbon. There. Straight. Pretty good. Okay. Now we'll glue it on the card. You can see the shading on here a little bit better. Oops, let's stamp it first, Jean. Yeah, what did we do on the first one? We used green. What color should we stamp the sentiments on here? Is red redundant, or should we do garden green? Maybe garden green. I hope you approve. I put garden green back. Okay. If you decide to make a card like this and you want to color, I would just do a whole bunch of them and color them and then assemble. Sort of like we're doing now. Now this is red glimmer paper, and that is I think it's called Festive Glimmer paper. Yep, Festive. So you get the Granny Apple Green, the Garden Green, and the red come in this set. You get 2 sheets of each. It's 12 by 12 paper. This one I can glue on. This is heavier. It's not like your foil paper is. I mean, the foil is heavy, but it just doesn't accept glue well. All right, let's get some embellishments on here. And we'll just go with the 4 corners so that the ribbon runs between it and doesn't cause an extra gap or a lump. Nobody wants lumpy cards. All right, inside we're going to put in wishing you and yours all the best. Now I liked this, but I wasn't especially fond of it in the green. We're going to do black. Turn this around. And then we'll just quickly color it in. And we'll use the colored pencils. I'm going to have to get my red colored pencil out because I didn't have that out. At least this way you're staying with the same medium on the card, because this was the one that was the colored pencils. Where are my colored pencils over there? Oh, that's cherry cobbler. I don't want that. I want red. Okay. Red off of it, and then I'm going to add a little of the darker green in here, so it is the same as what the front is. Okay. Now, do you know which one card is next? It's the Spotlight card. And this one, I cut out 2 spotlights on it. One wasn't enough. Okay. Now, do we want to have green or where did I put the embellishments? Do we want green? I kind of think the red is going to be better on this one. There you go. And on to our spotlight card. So I cheated and I took the silver foil paper and I cut out 2 of these because this is going to be covered by this and it doesn't really matter. It's not going to get seen and I can stretch my foil paper a little bit further. So this one I am going to put on using the seal. Alright, I think we got it. And this sheet is 1/8 of an inch smaller, so it's 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And this one's going to go on here. Now, the trick of this is we are going to, let me get these lined up here. So I've got one that is 2 3/8 circle, and the other one is, is it 2? Oh, I can't remember. 1 3/8. So go on there like so. Trick is to get this lined up just right. Okay. And now this one. Now this comes off. And we're going to put some dimensionals on the back. I haven't made one of these cards in ages, and I don't know what came to mind yesterday when I was designing these. Was suddenly like, oh yeah, we haven't done this in a while, maybe we should do that. And I already had stuff already figured out what I was going to make, and so I had to start with my third one and do something a little different. And I want to put a little something here and here just to make sure that it doesn't buckle. This is not going to be work. All right. And I think I'm going to add one just up here. Always use the edges up on your dimensionals. Oh, no, I should have one up there too, shouldn't I? We could be at this forever. Okay, so this should work quite well. I can't remember which way I wanted to go with this card. I had it figured out so that it wasn't covering so much of the image that's colored. Oops, didn't get that one. All right, get these long guys. And then get this on here. That one's done. That one's done. Okay. Try that again. There. Kind of think it was this direction. This is from the Traditional Labels, which is part of this suite. There are some beautiful die cuts for your labels and your front sentiments. And I decided to use that. So I could go either this way or I think this way. Well, this isn't so bad. What do you think? I can go ahead and stamp this. And we're going to stamp this. I'm going to see if I can get it in the Lost Lagoon. I don't know. Maybe I should do the garden green. So, portrait or landscape on this one? And the front is going to say, "Have a Merry Christmas." Landscape? Is that what you just said, Mary? Or Nancy, I'm sorry. I looked at it out of the corner of my eye. And now you can see the rest of that in white. I just think that's really pretty. So I am going to add a couple of the mini dimensionals in the corners here. just so that doesn't sag. And I need a couple of them. Maybe just one. Yeah, maybe two. Get another one down here. Okay. And then a little, yeah, we'll just use this in the center. There. What you think? This is another one that should just have rhinestone, I think, for embellishments. Okay, and I'm just going to put this in the way it is. All right, let's get there. Sweet and simple. All right, now for the last one, I think. Yes. Okay, this is going to be a fun fold. We've done this one before when we did the, what is it called? Something pier. And I thought that this one would look stunning using this same technique. Okay, so this one was done with the watercolor in the pool party. So I've taken a piece of the Lost Lagoon, and it is 11 by 4 1/4, and it's scored at 5 1/2. We are going to take our cutter, and we are going to cut this from this score line down to this corner. So just line it up in the track. Maybe I should get this on the table a little bit more so that you can see what I'm doing. Just in the center of the trough, I guess, for the cutting, and then the point needs to go down on this end so that they cut just exactly. I start with the blade in the center, so you're not pushing and crushing the card. Keeps the edges nice and smooth. So now we have that. Now we are going to take our image and do the same thing. We're going to cut it from this corner down to that corner. Nice nicely lined up. And again, I'm going to start with it in the center so that I don't mash any of the tips. And we've got that. Okay. This is going to go on here like so. Again, that sheet was that I have the embossing was 4 by 5 1/4. Ah, it slipped. There we go. Trying to get it on there so that it's fairly even. That's pretty good. All right, and then this piece is actually going to go right up here. A little glue on this one. Okay, now I have a piece of the Lost Lagoon that is 3 1/4 by 6 1/2, and I've scored it at 3 1/4, so this makes it actually square. I have a piece of the silver foil that is 2 5/8 by 2 5/8, and that's going to go on here. And this is 2 1/2 by 2 1/2, and that's going to go on here like so. All right, so the front is going to say, I think I had Merry Christmas on here. And we are actually going to make a wreath using this. And I'm going to do that actually first. So we're going to make that in Pool Party. And our stamping of the words is going to be done in Lost Lagoon. Let me get this out of the way. It's floating around here. Okay, what do I have on there? All right, Pool Party. All right, this one I had to practice a little bit to see how this was going to come out. So I started up here and then flipped it over, and you put one down here. And then we're going to go around and fill this in. Easy peasy. Like so. Look at that. Hot diggity. That was better than my practice. There's my practice, and it was still a little wonky. Okay, Lost Lagoon, and I think Merry Christmas should fit in here. If it goes over just a little bit, I don't think it'll matter. It's going to go over just a smidge. Well, that still doesn't want to go right, does it? Let's see. I'm gonna try. That's better. Just a little dot. Okay. This is gonna go on here. So this, I will use the seal tape again because of it going on. Oh. The foil paper. Yeah, when I tried it the first time and I saw how lonely that Merry Christmas looked on this, I thought it needs a little something, and that's not on there straight. It's gonna have to be. Okay. And this is actually going to get glued in here, like about here. So I will use the mono glue. Kind of want it centered. Like so. And this is going to have our sentiment on it, and this piece is 3 by 3. And this one we will, where'd my long sentiment go? Alright. Get my Lost Lagoon back. And I'm going to try it on a piece of paper before because it's really fine printing. That is fine. My desk is all full of fine glitter. Gonna leave a little room at the bottom so if you wanted to sign it, which or put a little something on there, you can. And this is going in the side. And we're done. And you're saying, yay, about time. I'm glad you like the cards, Nancy. Now you're going to have to tell me which one you like the best. Or which technique you like the best. Maybe I should say that. Well, let me get them all out here. And then we'll have our drawing for our card that we made the other night. Get a few things out of the way here. Alright, here we go. I'll put this down at the bottom. And it's this one, and that. Okay. Hopefully you can see them all. They need to go up a little bit. Let's see. Waiting for it to come up. There. So which is your favorite? I think they're all pretty cool. But I think, you know, as much as I like blends, I think it's the one that is my least favorite of all of them. But I just love the way this watercolor looks on there. Even though it's all one color, I just think it looks beautiful. It's stunning. And I really like this one, the Spotlight, too, using the watercolors. So anyway, shall we have our drawing? So, Ramona, what we do is anybody that has commented on the live videos, even if you're watching the replay, I do a drawing the next time we get together, and I do the drawing, and it's on the card, whichever card the person that wins can choose from, and I will mail it to them. So let me get my little basket of numbers, and let's see who's going to win tonight. These were the 2 cards that we made on Tuesday night. So this was using the deboss side of the wreath image, both a fun fold. All right, let's see who wins. You like them all, Carol? Okay. Oh, I forgot one. I forgot this guy. And he looks so pretty with that ribbon on him. You guys are going to have a lot to choose from when we meet on Tuesday night and I do the drawing. Okay. 1 number. I have 1 number? Okay, I got 1 number. Pam Golzinski, you won tonight. Let me know which card you would like, and I will be happy to mail it to you. So if you're still on, I think you were on earlier, weren't you, or not? I gotta look back here quick. Yeah, you were. If you're still on, Pam, let me know which card you want. The one that's done in the shaded spruce, or the one that's done in the soft seafoam. Just let me know. Yeah, you've got, what do we make? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. I think that's a record for me. 6 cards in a sitting. And we weren't here for 2 hours. Yay! Just an hour and a half. Goodness gracious, I'm sorry, you guys. But I hope you enjoyed watching them. So, I am going to sign off, I think. If I haven't heard back from Pam, I will shoot her a text message and let her know that she won. So, you guys have a great night. Enjoy this weather. Think of me. I will be out in my gardens tomorrow trying to weed the front garden. Hopefully the mosquitoes won't carry me away like they did today, even with DEET on. I cannot believe it. They absolutely love me. So, but I have to get it done. It's just a mess out there. So have a good Sunday, everyone, and I will see you on Tuesday night. And these are the 2 sets that we're going to be using for the cards that we are going to create. So have a great weekend, or rest of the weekend. See you. Bye-bye.